Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by challenging a belief that society has sold us for too long, that the more friends you have, the more fulfilled your life will be. But what if I told you that the man with no friends or a very small circle is the most secure man in the room? You see, solitude is not loneliness, it's power. It's in moments of solitude that we discover who we truly are. In a world that's constantly demanding our attention, stepping away from the noise allows us to reflect, to grow. Solitude is not loneliness, it is power. It is in those moments of solitude that we come face to face with our true selves, stripped of pretense and free from the influence of others. A man who embraces solitude understands this secret. He knows that being alone doesn't equate to being lonely, but is instead a profound opportunity to connect with oneself on a deeper level. In a world that thrives on constant noise and distraction, where social validation is sought after like currency, a man who chooses to step back and be alone gains clarity that others rarely achieve. Solitude allows for reflection, growth, and an undistracted focus on one's purpose. It is in this silence that the mind sharpens, ideas form, and clarity emerges. Such a man doesn't feel the pressure to perform or conform because he understands that his worth is not tied to how others perceive him. He is not swayed by the latest trends, nor does he feel the need to fit into a mold created by society. Instead, he carves his path, guided by his inner voice, a voice that grows stronger when not drowned out by the chatter of the crowd. In this space of solitude, he learns the value of meaningful relationships. A man with no friends or a very small circle doesn't lack companionship. He's simply discerning about who he lets into his life. He understands that not all relationships are created equal and that quality always trumps quantity. While others may spread their energy thin, trying to maintain a large social network, he focuses on building deep, meaningful connections with a select few. These are people he can trust, people who uplift him, and people who truly understand his vision and values. He knows that a loyal few are infinitely more valuable than a room full of acquaintances. This man's sense of purpose is sharpened by the absence of unnecessary distractions. He doesn't waste time or energy on superficial relationships or unproductive social obligations. Instead, he channels his focus toward his goals and aspirations. He moves through life with an intensity and precision that are difficult to match. This clarity of purpose becomes his guiding light, illuminating his path even in the darkest times. It's not that he doesn't enjoy the company of others. It's that he prioritizes his mission above fleeting moments of social interaction. His focus is unwavering, and his drive is fueled by a sense of inner direction that is both rare and inspiring. Embracing solitude also builds an extraordinary level of emotional resilience. Without the constant need for external validation, he becomes self-sufficient, relying on his own strength and resolve to navigate life's challenges. He doesn't crumble under pressure or feel the need to seek approval from others to validate his choices. Instead, he stands firm in his beliefs, knowing that his worth is inherent and unshakable. This inner strength becomes his shield, protecting him from the doubts and insecurities that plague many who rely heavily on the opinions of others. But perhaps the greatest quality of a man with no friends or a very small circle is his sense of security. He is selective, not isolated. He guards his peace and values his energy, knowing that not everyone deserves access to his world. This discernment doesn't make him arrogant, it makes him wise. He understands the importance of protecting his mental and emotional space, surrounding himself only with people and experiences that align with his values and contribute positively to his life. His security doesn't come from being liked by everyone, it comes from being at peace with himself. In a society that often equates solitude with weakness, this man proves that the opposite is true. Solitude is a source of strength, focus, and security. A man who can stand alone, or with only a few by his side, is not lacking, he is thriving. He is unshakable, unstoppable, and truly free. A man with no friends or a very small circle stands apart in a world where social connections are often mistaken for strength. He embodies a form of security and independence that is rare and misunderstood. This man does not seek validation from the crowd, nor does he measure his worth by the number of people who surround him. Instead, he finds his value within himself. He is secure because he understands that solitude is not a weakness, but a source of immense strength. By stepping away from the noise of social expectations, he creates space for reflection, growth, and clarity of purpose. In solitude, a man learns who he truly is. He has the time and mental space to delve deeply into his thoughts, confront his fears, and nurture his dreams. While many seek distraction to avoid facing themselves, he welcomes the stillness. It is in these moments of self-reflection that he discovers his passions and his purpose. He understands that his greatest ally is his own mind, and that self-mastery is the foundation of true power. Without the influence of others clouding his judgment, he develops a clarity of thought that allows him to make decisions rooted in his values, not in the fleeting opinions of others. This man values quality over quantity in all areas of his life, especially in relationships. He recognizes that having a large social network often comes at the cost of authenticity and depth. Rather than spreading himself thin, he invests in a small circle of trusted individuals who truly understand and support him. These relationships are not based on convenience or superficiality. They are built on trust, loyalty, and mutual respect. He doesn't need the approval of many because he knows the unwavering support of a few is far more meaningful. This selectivity doesn't make him cold or distant. It makes him intentional. Every relationship in his life has a purpose, and he cultivates them with care. With fewer social distractions, this man's focus becomes his superpower. He isn't swayed by the demands of keeping up appearances or maintaining unnecessary connections. His time and energy are devoted to his goals and ambitions, which gives him a competitive edge. While others may be pulled in multiple directions by the pressures of a large social network, he moves with precision and determination. This singularity of purpose allows him to achieve what others cannot. He is not weighed down by the expectations of others, which means he can channel all his energy into creating the life he envisions for himself. By embracing a small circle, or even standing alone, this man cultivates an incredible level of emotional resilience. He doesn't rely on others to validate his feelings or decisions. Instead, he builds an internal fortress of confidence and self-assurance. When challenges arise, he faces them head-on, knowing that his strength comes from within. He doesn't fear loneliness because he has already mastered the art of being alone. This independence allows him to navigate life's ups and downs with a calm and steady resolve that others admire but rarely understand. What truly sets this man apart is his sense of security. He doesn't feel the need to explain or justify his choices to anyone. His life is not dictated by societal expectations or the opinions of the crowd. He knows that his peace is priceless and guards it fiercely. He lets only the right people into his world, those who respect his boundaries, share his values, and contribute positively to his journey. His discernment is not born of arrogance, but of wisdom. He understands that energy is finite and must be preserved for what truly matters. A man with no friends or a very small circle is not isolated. He is liberated. He walks through life with a sense of purpose, a strength of character, and a clarity of vision that is unshakable. His solitude is his sanctuary, his resilience is his armor, and his security is his crown. While others chase validation and connection, he quietly builds a life of meaning and fulfillment, proving that true power comes not from the outside but from within. A man with no friends or a very small circle often finds himself misunderstood by a world that glorifies constant connection and social validation. Yet, he is one of the most secure individuals you will ever encounter. He is not driven by the need to please others or by the fear of being alone. Instead, he operates from a place of self-awareness and strength, knowing that his path is his own to walk. He understands that solitude is not a void to be filled, but an opportunity to grow, to reflect, and to build something lasting and meaningful. In solitude, this man finds his true self. Without the influence of countless voices, he is free to explore his thoughts and uncover his deepest desires. He has the clarity to distinguish between what is important and what is noise. He learns to embrace the silence and make peace with his inner world, a feat that many struggle to achieve. This process of self-discovery and self-acceptance makes him unshakable. He doesn't rely on external validation to feel complete because he has already built a strong foundation within himself. This level of self-assurance is rare, and it allows him to move through life with quiet confidence. The relationships he does have are chosen with care and intention. He knows that not everyone deserves a seat at his table. This discernment isn't about arrogance or judgment. It's about recognizing the value of energy and time. He understands that a small circle of loyal and supportive individuals is far more valuable than a large group of acquaintances who lack depth. His connections are built on trust, authenticity, and mutual respect. These are the relationships that stand the test of time, providing him with support without demanding more than he is willing to give. This man's limited social circle, or lack of it, entirely doesn't signify loneliness, it signifies focus. He channels his energy into his goals and ambitions, undistracted by the constant pull of social obligations. While others may feel compelled to maintain appearances or meet societal expectations, he is free to prioritize what truly matters to him. This focused approach allows him to achieve more in less time because he isn't wasting his efforts on superficial pursuits. His ability to stay on course, undeterred by outside influences, makes him a force to be reckoned with. Through his journey, he develops emotional resilience. He faces life's challenges with a sense of calm and determination because he knows he can rely on himself. He doesn't need to lean on others for strength, though he welcomes support from those he trusts. This independence is not born from isolation but from a deep sense of self-reliance. He has learned to navigate the ups and downs of life without being overly dependent on others, which gives him a unique kind of freedom. His strength comes from within, and this inner reserve of resilience allows him to weather storms that might overwhelm others. Above all, this man embodies security. He doesn't feel the need to conform to societal norms or explain his choices to anyone. He knows that his life is his own, and he guards his peace with the utmost care. He is selective about who he lets into his life because he values his mental and emotional well-being. This selectivity is not about keeping people out, it's about protecting the sanctity of his inner world. He is at peace with his decisions and confident in his ability to navigate life on his terms. Far from being lonely or incomplete, a man with no friends or a very small circle is the epitome of self-assurance and focus. He is not swayed by external pressures or distracted by unnecessary noise. Instead, he lives with purpose, cultivates meaningful relationships, and guards his inner peace fiercely. He is a testament to the power of solitude and the strength that comes from knowing and trusting oneself. While others seek fulfillment in the approval of the crowd, he finds it within, proving that true security begins and ends with the self. A man with no friends or a very small circle is often seen as an anomaly in a world that prioritizes socializing and connection above almost everything else. Yet, there is a profound strength in his solitude and an undeniable security in his selective approach to relationships. He does not fear being alone, nor does he feel the need to gather people around him to validate his worth. Instead, he embraces his own company and the freedom it brings. He understands that his value comes from within, and that his time, energy, and focus are too precious to squander on superficial connections. This man's solitude is not a sign of isolation, but a powerful statement of self-reliance. When he spends time alone, he doesn't feel the discomfort that others might. Instead, he uses it as an opportunity to reflect and grow. In a world that moves at a relentless pace and is filled with constant distractions, solitude becomes his sanctuary. It is in these moments that he discovers clarity, develops his goals, and builds a deep sense of purpose. Without the noise of the crowd, his thoughts are his own, and his decisions are free from the influence of external pressures. He also understands the profound importance of quality over quantity when it comes to relationships. Unlike those who chase the illusion of strength in numbers, he recognizes that a small circle of genuine, loyal friends is far more valuable than a large network of acquaintances. His relationships are chosen carefully and intentionally based on trust, respect, and shared values. He does not allow just anyone into his life, and this selectivity is not arrogance but wisdom. He knows that true friendship is not about convenience or social status, it is about authenticity and mutual support. This man is also fiercely focused. With fewer people in his life, he has more time and energy to devote to his goals and aspirations. He is not weighed down by the expectations or demands of maintaining unnecessary relationships. Instead, he moves through life with precision, channeling his efforts toward what truly matters to him. While others may be distracted by the noise of social obligations or the pursuit of popularity, he is laser-focused on building the life he envisions. His discipline and dedication allow him to achieve results that many only dream of, and his ability to prioritize his time gives him a distinct advantage in every area of his life. His emotional strength is another defining characteristic. He does not rely on the approval or validation of others to feel secure. Instead, he draws his strength from within, cultivating resilience and self-assurance through his own experiences. When challenges arise, he faces them head-on, knowing that he has the ability to overcome whatever life throws his way. This independence is not born of stubbornness, but of confidence. He has learned to trust himself and his abilities, and this trust becomes the foundation of his inner strength. What sets this man apart more than anything is his sense of security. He is at peace with his choices and does not feel the need to conform to societal norms or expectations. He knows that his worth is not measured by how many people he knows or how popular he appears to be. His life is guided by his values and priorities, and he is unwavering in his commitment to staying true to himself. He protects his peace by being selective about who he allows into his inner circle and by choosing relationships that enhance, rather than complicate, his life. Far from being lonely or incomplete, a man with no friends or a very small circle is secure in ways that many others are not. His solitude is a source of strength. His focus is his superpower, and his relationships are built on a foundation of trust and authenticity. He is proof that true security doesn't come from external validation but from an unshakable belief in oneself. While others seek fulfillment in the company of the crowd, he finds it within, living a life of purpose, resilience, and freedom. A man with no friends or a very small circle is not someone to be pitied or looked down upon, but rather someone to be admired. In a world where the pressure to conform to social norms and maintain a wide network of relationships is overwhelming, This man is a living testament to the power of solitude and the strength that comes from inner security. He does not chase popularity or seek the approval of others, because he knows that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from external validation. His sense of self-worth is unwavering, built not on the number of people in his life, but on his own understanding of who he is and what he values. This man has learned the art of being alone without feeling lonely. While most people dread solitude, he welcomes it as an opportunity for growth and reflection. In his solitude, he finds peace and clarity. It is in the quiet moments, free from the distractions of the world, that he can hear his own thoughts clearly and make decisions with confidence. The constant noise of the world, the incessant chatter, and the pressure to fit in do not affect him. He has learned to silence the external distractions, and as a result, he has developed a deep connection with his true self. Through solitude, he has also learned to value the quality of his relationships over the quantity. Many people spend their lives collecting friends, often without considering the depth or substance of those relationships. This man, however, understands that true connections are rare and precious. He doesn't need a large group of people around him to feel validated. Instead, he seeks out those who share his values, his vision, and his understanding of the world. His inner circle is small, but it is made up of individuals who truly support him, who challenge him to be better, and who enrich his life. He doesn't waste time on shallow interactions or relationships that drain him. His energy is reserved for those who matter most, and this selective approach allows him to cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections. With a smaller circle, this man also gains the freedom to focus on what matters most to him. He is not constantly pulled in different directions by the demands of a large social network. Instead, he can direct his energy toward his goals and passions. He is laser-focused, knowing that time is precious and that his efforts are best spent on the things that truly align with his values. While others are caught up in the chaos of social obligations, he remains steadfast in his pursuit of his personal and professional aspiration. This focus and clarity allow him to achieve things that others may find difficult to even begin. His life is intentional, not reactive. Emotional resilience is another powerful trait of a man with no friends or a small circle. He does not rely on the validation of others to feel secure. He does not need constant reassurance from the outside world. His confidence is built on a solid foundation of self-awareness and inner strength. When challenges arise, he faces them head-on, knowing that he is fully capable of navigating through them. His emotional fortitude is not born from the support of a large network, but from his own ability to withstand adversity and continue moving forward, regardless of external circumstances. He understands that the only validation he truly needs is the one he gives himself. Perhaps the most striking quality of a man with no friends or a very small circle is his sense of security. In a world that often ties a person's worth to their social connections, he is completely secure in himself. He doesn't measure his success or happiness by how many people know him or how many invitations he receives. His sense of worth is based on his values, his integrity, and his ability to live authentically. He does not feel the need to justify his choices or explain his lifestyle to anyone. He knows that his life is his own to live, and he takes full responsibility for it. This sense of security allows him to navigate life with ease, unburdened by the need to fit into society's expectations or to please others. Ultimately, a man with no friends or a very small circle is someone who understands the true meaning of security. He is not alone, he is whole. He does not need the validation of others to feel complete, nor does he seek fulfillment in external relationships. His sense of peace and purpose comes from within, and he has the courage to live life on his own terms. While others may look for approval in the crowd, he finds it in the quiet moments, in the deep relationships he has chosen, and in the strength of his own convictions. In a world that often defines success by popularity and social connections, he proves that the true measure of success is the ability to be secure, focused, and unshaken, no matter how many people are standing beside you.